Hello and welcome to this week's discussion. Today I want to cover how live streaming affects your channel and also, but more importantly, does taking a break from YouTube kill your channel? Now, obviously that is a very hot topic. There is a lot of people with a lot of opinions about whether or not taking a break will kill your channel. Now, I have my opinion, and this is what it is. It's an opinion. And so if you're here live in the chat, make sure you put your opinion in. I want to hear if you've had any personal experiences, because I'll be talking about mine. So I'd love to hear what yours are. If you're listening to the replay or the podcast, make sure you pop it in the comments about if you've had an experience taking a break on YouTube and what that did for you or didn't do for you. And you know, we'll just have a discussion. Absolutely, as Doug here in the chat has said, opinions are welcome, because this is the thing about YouTube, right? We all have, like, there are some hard and fast science and facts, which we definitely have, but there's also opinions and points of view. And that's the advantage of having your own YouTube channel, is that you can share your point of view. So I want to have a jump into the chat and see what people are saying. Trish was here bright and early, and she said, I'm very excited about this one, and I'm back in action soon, I hope. Freaky Geek is here saying hello. Livestream Consultants is here. Good afternoon. Livestream Consultants, I don't know how much of the Saturday morning chat you caught with Doug and myself, but your audio got a workout. Your coffee audio got an absolute workout. It was wonderful. Thank you so much for that, which reminds me, I just need to make sure that some things are off so that it doesn't start pinging at me. Freaky Geek has said, I recommended your channel to somebody who wants to learn about recording a Zoom chat. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know too much about recording Zooms, but happy to discuss the options. Trish says that while she's been on her break, she's lost some subs and lost the 3 videos per month, but I'm not in YouTube for the money. And Freaky says his point of view is rather dull. So as you could probably tell, my voice is not entirely back. It sounds worse than it is. I mean, there are moments when it's just as bad as it sounds, but it sounds worse than it is right now. I do have water in my ginormous StreamYard mug today. It's sparkling water, and I use a soda stream, and I think I added too many sparklings to my water today. I don't know if you can see it. It's totally jumping around in the cup. It's very funny. So, okay, for my opinion on taking a break on YouTube. Taking a break on YouTube does not kill your channel. It doesn't kill the channel dead. Excuse me. So why do I think that? So basically, I do a lot of research. I work for other channels. I have 2 channels of my own. I have been recently forced into taking a break, hence the voice. Now, it was not a chosen option. I got sick and it was random and out of the blue, so I wasn't prepared. It just happened. And I had no option but to take a break, as I entirely lost my voice. It disappeared. I also couldn't sit for more than 2 minutes without coughing a lot. The experience of you watching that would have been terrible. It would have not been a good viewer experience at all. So we didn't go there. I didn't even try. I was just like, okay, I can barely sit on a couch. I'm not going to sit in front of a camera. So that was where the decision happened. So I've missed a couple of streams here. I've missed some streams over on the Fiberific channel. Plans to make some pre-recorded content got put on the shelf for a little longer. They had been there so long that they were getting dusty, but you know, we dusted off the shelf and put them back up there. So what actually happens when you take a break? So if you're regularly uploading or regularly live streaming and putting out regular content to start with, what will happen if you just stop that? If you just stop, like what I did, I was sick, there was no options but to just stop. So there are some negative things that happen. And what will happen is, if you don't upload a video, you don't get those views. Those views don't happen because there was no new content. That is a fact. If what will happen is the audience who would usually have watched that content will go and find something else to watch. They've got time to watch a video. They're not going to go, oh, Chantelle's not live today. I'm going to get off YouTube. She was the only reason I was here. That's not how it works. They're going to go, oh, well, I'm going to pop something else on. And they'll go looking for something else. YouTube will recommend them something else. So it is absolutely true that you will lose those views. Those views will go to someone else. That's a fact. If you have some sort of evergreen content, that will still continue to be served. I have videos on my other channel that is being offered and shown up to people that are 7 years old, and people are still watching them and putting comments on them. And I sort of have a little giggle, you know, like, oh, why didn't you add this to the review? And I'm like, because that product is a year old and the video is 7 years old. That's why. But, you know, so YouTube does still serve out your older content. So you will still have some views. So it doesn't drop to zero, but it drops what you would normally have gained in that week or in that video or that upload. So you will lose those views. And viewers will also possibly find someone else new that they will like. So then their time will be split when you come back. Their time will be split between you and the new person. But does that kill your channel? No, it does not. It reduces the impact on your channel by a little. Now, if you have zero backlog, if you don't have anything that's evergreen, you'll probably notice more of a drop. On this channel, which is predominantly live streaming, if I don't live stream, it's a massive drop, but I still don't see it as the channel is dead. It's not dead. Dead means zero. Dead means nothing. Okay? So if you're still getting a couple of views, that's not dead. That's just slowed right down. I consider that possibly closer to dormant. If your views have slowed down, the second you add more content again, it's like, who here has lawn? Who here has experience dealing with a lawn, right? When, at least in Australia, we have hot, dry summers, our lawns tend to go brown, stop growing, you know, they don't like it. Or more hot winters, dry winters, whenever. I can never remember. We've been having such crazy weather. But when it's hot and when it's dry, or even just when it's very dry, the grass stops growing and it will go brown. The second it rains, you instantly see the color of the grass starting to change. And if there's decent rain, it's gone back to green, it's gone back to thick and lush, and it's growing like crazy. And all of a sudden, you need to absolutely mow the lawn, bizarrely, for the first time in 2 months because it rained for 15 minutes. YouTube is like that. If you don't put out content, your channel will slow a little. And depending on how much backlog you have, will depend on how much it slows. It will slow a little. But the second you put up new content, it will be served back out again because it is new content, and YouTube is always pushing out your new content. New content is key. So if you need to take a break, understanding what will actually happen is important. Now, my question is, what would happen if you didn't take the break, right? If you're planning a holiday or planning a break, you can absolutely do some batch recording, schedule some stuff, put out some community posts, schedule those. There's things that you can do. And even while I was sick, I still managed to put out one community post on this channel. It was not enough. Let me just say, don't do what I do. Do what I say. You know, I'm one of those people. But you can absolutely, there's things that you can do to keep it sort of ticking over. So then you can absolutely rely on your backlog and have any scheduled content come out. But if, like me, it was just sudden, no notice, needed to go, okay? So I'll get into that next little bit in just 1 second. Let's have a little chat here in the chat. We've got some more people here. Um, Russell has said, Russell from Manufactured Florida Home Living, I am living proof. 302 days of posting nothing, and 4 months after resuming, the channel is going at 2 times what it was previously. 302 days while posting nothing. Now that's an exceptionally long break. That is nearly a hiatus. You know, that's not like a couple of weeks off. That's nearly a whole year off. But Russell needed that time. And now he's just jumped back in, new content, got going, and it's running at 2 times what it was previously. Hey, Holly, it's great to see you. Tech for Your Needs is here. It's good to see you as well. Amazing Yacht Destinations has made it. Doug says, dry winters, humid summers. We've had some pretty wet winters lately. It's a bit crazy. I can't really keep up. Russell said that on his channel, the view rate stayed at around the 500 to 1,200 a day, even though he was not uploading content, and he still gained subscribers. This is the thing, isn't it? If you are making content that is meaningful, that is that helps you, that helps your audience, that is evergreen content, it will continue to be relevant. So as it gets served out, it will continue to help. If you are here in the chat, let me know what's in your cup. I've got very, very, very sparkling water. I'm kind of regretting how sparkling it is. Okay, Kit Kat facts. Is that, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Some of my uploads like 2 or 3 years apart. Yeah. My nose is in my cup with every sip of tea. That's an excellent point. Also mine is in my cup. It's not in your cup, it's in my cup. So what I want to talk about is what would happen if you didn't take the break, if you didn't have a holiday, if you didn't take the downtime when you were sick. So I want to talk about that. What do you think would happen if you didn't take a break every now and again, whether planned or unplanned? Russell said that he had 49 videos posted when he stopped to take care of some family matters. Yeah, there was a reason you needed to stop for that long. I do understand. Cold coffee, gonna make a new one now. Drinking water, awesome. It's good to see. Amazing Yacht Destinations and Tech for Your Needs. Get hydrated. Get hydrated. It's really hot here. I've got the air conditioning on at 9 o'clock in the morning. It feels very luxurious just making that decision. I know for myself, I don't take enough breaks. I'm one of these people that I just work through basically until my body goes, yeah, no, stopping now. It's time to collapse. That's it. That's what we're doing. We're going to give you a nice vicious cold so that you can't concentrate or talk. And then you have to stop. You've got no options. And so don't be me. Plan breaks so that you can refresh and rejuvenate. So like Tech for Your Needs is said just right here, content creation, mental health is very important to have on check. 100%. It's 100% correct. If you need a break, you take a break. Don't go, oh my gosh, my channel will die. No, it won't. But you know what could happen is you could actually have a serious burnout. And it could affect more things in your life than just your YouTube channel. I'm going to say that again because I think it's really important to remember. Not taking a break when you need one can affect more things in your life than your YouTube channel. If you don't take breaks, if you don't go on holidays with your family, even like just taking time out of your office and spending time with your family, the family can fall apart. Things can happen. You miss things. You miss important things. I don't know what your view is of your business. I know what my view is of my business. I know why I started my business. Very way back when, I started my business when my daughter was a toddler. And I needed something to do through the day because I was a workaholic who stopped working to raise my child. And it was a very difficult decision for me to do that. And I made that decision. I made that choice, and it was a choice. So, and I know not everybody has that option, and I respect that as well. But that was the choice that we made. Now, I just started off small. I was just doing, little bits and pieces here and there. There was no YouTube. It was just a little bit of knitting needles here and there, selling them at craft events and, very low key. It was very low key because my priority was actually caring for my toddler who was very soon moving into school. So as she started at school, I started ramping things up. I had some more hours in the day. Then she was at high school. I really started ramping things up because I wasn't spending any time, helping with reading and being classroom helper and all those sorts of things that you do when you can, if you've got the options. So I'm just checking. I just got a noise. Nope. And these were decisions that I made. So I slowly ramped my business up so I could work around my family. Then I realized at one point that I was actually had more energy and time focused in on my business than on my family. And I realized my balance had skewed the wrong way and I needed to rectify that. That made a difference to my YouTube channel. Now, because I still only had a certain number of hours in your day, I still only had, this block of time. And I was utilizing it on my YouTube channel more so than my, not more so, but it was between that and my physical business. And the business was picking up as well. So I was running out of time. So I had to make some decisions, and I made some decisions to try and free up some hours so that I could, get that time back. But again, it started getting out of balance. I was spending more time working than with my family. And that was not my goal. So your goal might be totally different. And you have to think about your goals and what your mission is and make that balance work for you. Now, I don't recommend working until you collapse. I don't recommend working until your body decides, here's a nice cold, have that. I actually highly recommend planned breaks. And if you plan your breaks, you can plan it so your audience nearly doesn't notice it. Unless you're a regular live streamer, you can plan it so that you have content scheduled ahead so that you don't actually miss any. And even if you're a live streamer, you could plan some content to fill the live stream gaps. It's really important to plan regular breaks. I'm not saying go off on fancy holidays and all these different things that you might see other people doing. Even just stepping away from work and focusing on another part of your life, a hobby that you enjoy, put your feet up, watch a TV show. I am not in team grind until your bone. I'm not that. I am about balance. I'm about build some income to make your life a bit easier, but spend that time with your family. I was at a thing where Gary Vaynerchuk was talking. It came out to Australia. I had to sit through a lot of not awesome speakers, let me just say that, to get the nuggets from Gary Vaynerchuk. And one thing that he said, and I've since seen him say it just on videos as well, was everyone's definition of success is different. Everyone's definition of success is different. Mine is different to yours, probably. And my definition of success does not include luxury yachts or, first class airfares, although I'm not going to say no to a first class airfare. Let me just say that right now. But it's not that. My definition of success is being able to afford to spend time with my family without guilt. Being able to do things with my family and put my feet up. Being able to have a little holiday. Being able to travel for work things even. These are indicators of success to me. And so I try to balance my life around for that. Okay, so yours might be different. Yours might be totally different. One thing Gary Vaynerchuk said, he goes, one person's success might be they need to make $1 million a year, but another person's success might be 80,000 a year or 40,000 a year. It depends on what your definition of success is. And it's the same thing for YouTube. What is your definition of success for YouTube? I'm not here to make $11 billion off of YouTube. That's not my goal. I'm here to help you go live, to help you make decisions for your businesses. That's what I'm here for. And if that means that you hire me to do a job for you so that you've got more time for your family, that's awesome. If not, it's not. That's awesome too. Let's have another look here in the chat. Russell's saying, it's your channel. You can't give others your power. Don't listen to those gurus who say you must post regularly, etc. It's more important you stay true to your purpose. Absolutely. Time management, this from Tech for Your Needs, says time management is a very important cause that allows you to take a break during the week. That way you don't have to take a long break from your channel unless you need it. Absolutely. For the live stream consultant says, for those that are primarily live streamers, you can plan out some premieres that would take the place of a live stream. You just have to be active in the chat. That's absolutely a possibility as well. So this is all planning. This is all planning. So making sure you plan for your breaks and plan to have a break. Excuse me, sorry. You need to plan to have a break, or what happened to me is what's going to happen to you. I was planning a break, but it's not for another couple of months, right? And I'm still going to take that break. But this is not, this break that I just had was not planned. So what happens when you have an unplanned break? Do you know what? You have to ride the wave. It's that simple. You're sick, take the time off, put out a community post. Don't try and force your way through anything. Do what you can do. I still wrote the occasional script and did some research and did a bit of client work. I just couldn't live stream or record videos. So once my brain came back, because I had a bit of fevers, so once my brain came back, I was able to do some other things. And that I was still slow and not like for the same level of energy that I had because I didn't have it. So I kept plodding along. So this is the thing. You have to think about the balance of not taking a break versus taking a break and planning the break instead of not planning it. Now, when I'm talking breaks, I'm not talking like Russell did here, nearly a year off. I'm talking a few weeks here and there, okay? I'm not talking take 2 years off your channel, expect to come back and it's exactly how it was, minus a few views. No. It's going to be a bit harder work. It's not to say it can't be done. It can absolutely be done. If you come back to a channel that you have, for want of a better word, abandoned, that you've abandoned, you know, for a couple of years because you had other priorities, right? Life does throw things at you and your priorities change and your expectations of life change. So you might go off and do something else with your life for a little while. Absolutely do that. If that's what you want to do, you do that. But if you realize how much you miss or how much you loved your channel and you want to come back to your channel, just start uploading again. You don't need to put up a post, like a video of what happened, where was I, all that kind of stuff. Put up a video that meets your audience's need. Come back, research your channel again like it's a fresh channel. Come back, look at what it is, check the trends, make sure that you know you're up to date with YouTube, because in 2 years, YouTube totally does a backflip as well. Make sure that you've come back with fresh eyes, with a plan, and understand the needs of your audience and jump in. Now, I'm going to say something a little controversial here. You ready? You're all sitting down. I'll have a sip of my drink before the controversy. Say you take a long break. Say you have a hiatus. We'll call that a hiatus just for ease of definitions. Say you have a hiatus of a year or longer and your life has changed, your expectations have changed, your interests have changed. Welcome to being human. It happens all the time. And you've decided you want to change your YouTube channel to match all of that. You probably need to start a new channel because you could pivot that channel. It absolutely can happen. People, depending on what your channel was and what it was about, you could pivot that channel. But why? Because it's going to be so much hard work. People are going to abandon ship because they came for content A and now you're putting in totally different content. It's not even a gentle pivot. I'm talking like say you were a camera channel and now you've come back and you are a gardening channel, right? Oh, both these things are important. Both of these things have great audiences. They're both awesome topics. What are the chances that there's a lot of people on your camera channel that are interested in your new life as a gardener? It's going to be pretty low. And I'm not saying it's impossible, and you could do it if you really, really, really want to. But when you come back after a long break and you have trying to get back into this, the flow of being a regular content creator again, and you're watching, your views are not what they were, your subscribers are leaving left, right, and center. The subscribers leaving is not less than the subscribers coming in, so you're actually watching your number tick backwards rather than forwards. How would that affect you? I know for me, it wouldn't be great. It wouldn't affect me nicely. Let's just say that. It would not be a positive week when I went back and looked over the analytics. So in those instances, you leave that channel, you start a fresh one, maybe put up a community post on the old one saying, hey, guys, so great to see you. Haven't been in here for ages. Just letting you know, I'm over here doing this other thing. It's totally different. If you're not interested, that's cool. But if you are, come over. You could totally do that. You might get a few extras that way. But if you are doing a total shift after a long hiatus because you as a person has changed, which happens, we change. It's what humans do. We change. We are constantly evolving, constantly changing. As our lives progress, I saw this funny video about this woman who, it was a totally random video, and she got sent a steam cleaner. And she goes, yeah, I'm about 30. This is about the time in life when we start getting excited about vacuums, right? And she's right. When you're 20, you're like, oh, vacuum. Okay, cool. When you're 30, you're like, oh my God, this vacuum does this and this is, because different things are important to you as your life changes and evolves. So let me know in the chat if you have opinions on this, if you feel the same way, if you are thinking the same things, if you're thinking about taking a long break, even if you're not thinking about taking a long break and you're thinking of a pivot, let me know in the chat. Frankie over 50 has made it. It's good to see you. 7 figures or bust from Russell. He wants to wear T-shirts all of the time. Russell, I'm not 7 figures, and I still wear T-shirts all the time. You're allowed to wear T-shirts, even if you're not a 7-figure businessman. Let me tell you. Trish does stuff. Says, I'm not stressing over my 2 months off. It happened and it was out of my control. So why worry? I'm here now, or I will be tomorrow. That's an excellent point, and I love that attitude. I really do. Tech for Your Needs says batch record. Yep, like that's what I said before. And allow more time for yourself. Definitely. Definitely. Doug's in the house. Pivot versus fresh start. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because you've already built a channel. You've already built it. It's already there. You've already jumped, especially if you've built a large channel. You've already jumped through all the hoops, and you know that if you start again, you've got to start at 0. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. It's just how it is. So my question for those of you that are here live and for those of you watching on the replay or listening to the podcast, do you think taking a break kills your channel? So let me know. I'm very curious as to what your opinions are on this, because this is an opinion-based topic. This one's not a hard and fast fact. This is an opinion-based topic because my definition of a dead channel may be different than yours. Like I like to use the terms dead channels and dormant channels. You may decide that dormant is dead. I don't agree with that, but that's my personal opinion. So I'm just having a little through because I do have notes. I know it seems like I ramble. I really do. I understand that, but I do have notes. I just want to double check that I'm hitting all my points. So just to double down on what I said earlier and also Tech for Your Needs about batch recording, batching is not just about creating long form video content or creating shorts and scheduling them. You can also batch and schedule community posts so that they can be drip fed. So even if you, like for myself, was sick, I didn't do this, I probably should have, but I could have gone in and made a few community posts to batch them out on the mornings that I was feeling a bit better. But I'll admit I used that time for client work instead. We've got some comments here. Trish Does Stuff says, are you, oh yes, there we go. I won't mention that actually, Trish. Yeah, whoops. That was one I didn't mean to bring up. Frankie over 50 says, I'll be finding out soon. Haven't posted for 6 months due to personal reasons. And this is the thing, life happens. We can't let stuff get in the way of life. We really can't. Amazing Yacht Destination says, I do think it is necessary and any of the right audience will appreciate your time. This is the thing, right? Just having an understanding of who your audience are and what their expectations are, and understanding the difference between the loud minority and the majority of your audience. These things are really important to understand. The analytics will tell you everything. It really will. Russell says that I haven't had a lot of luck with community posts. I will say that my engagement on community posts is definitely lower than on a video or a live stream, but it still exists. And YouTube over the last couple of weeks have really been ramping up their rhetoric on community posts. They've really been pushing out a post-only feed on mobile. They definitely want more community posts. And saying that, they do only recommend one post every 3 days. So you really shouldn't be out there putting a post on your community tab every single day. So there's that as well. Okay. It was just about lives when you aren't really there. That's a thing as well. And I'm not sure. I personally think if you're not there live, don't run a live. Run it as a pre-record. I understand why that particular creator did that, but I don't like pre-recorded live streams. I think it's disingenuous. I think that if you're live, you're live. If you're not live, then you're not live. I'm pretty hardline about that. I know that a lot of live streaming software allows you to upload a video to run as a live stream. I don't like that. Like, I've got no issues with components of your live stream being pre-recorded. No issues there. Showing how to do something by bringing up a little pre-recorded video, no issues. But if you are live streaming, you are live streaming. You are there. You are reading the comments. You are right there in person, chatting. The live changes depending on the audience. So, again, that's my opinion. Obviously, it must be allowed because otherwise the softwares wouldn't make it possible. I know StreamYard, who we're using right now, they allow it, an option for you to upload and send out a video file live. I don't like it. I don't like it. What do you guys think? Do you think that if you go to something that says it's live, you expect it to be actually live? I mean, how many times have you been in a live stream where someone's come in and commented, is this live? And I've sat there thinking, of course it's live. It says live. But then there are people out there running live streams that aren't actually live. So, yeah, might as well do a premiere if you're going to do that. Absolutely. Russell's opinion is it's better to build and keep an email list of your loyal followers or a dedicated Facebook page. Either lets you easily keep up your fans up to speed on what you're doing. I think why not do it all, honestly? If you are running your if you're running your YouTube channel as a business, treat it as a business. And as a business, you need to keep an email list. You need to have another way to contact your audience. Absolutely. I don't think that the community tab is better or worse. I think that at the moment with all the changes that's happening with Facebook groups within API is going to make small business the only ones that can really utilize Facebook groups, because any large business with a larger team is not going to be able to utilize any of the tools that made it tenable and possible, because they can't use any third-party apps like Agora Pulse or any of the live streaming apps. Basically anything that you used other than Facebook to be within your group. So whether or not it was so teams could comment, so that you could, cross post from something else, that you could schedule your post within a software and it drop it into the Facebook. That's all gone as of the 22nd of April. What have you got? You got like a week and a half of that left. So unless you're a small business, Facebook groups are going to be a lot harder going forward. Yeah, I don't think it's honest. I agree with you. I've seen movie channels that are live, but they aren't. Well, a live must be live and not fully recorded. If you use live, be live. Absolutely. I love this. I love that you all agree with me. Like, who doesn't love it when people agree with them? Really? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Oh, Trish is coming back. It's food time for Trish. All right. So it was coming up with this topic choice. Like, I know I have a discussion about my topic choices fairly regularly. Coming up with these topic choices is difficult because I do know this one is a little bit polarizing. And I do know that there are people that have come back and have been unable to revitalize their channels. So what I want to talk about now is how you would go about getting back on the horse after you've been away. Little Crafty Nook, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining in. So after you've been away, and especially if you've been away more than a week or two, like if you've just had a nice little holiday, that's fine. But if you've had to have an extended time away, you need to ramp up your content. You need to allow YouTube to let your audience know you're back. So I highly recommend, at least for a couple of days, or like the first couple of weeks that you're back, to post a little more often, so that your content can get back into the feed, that it can be pushing back out again. Now, I'm not saying every day. I'm not at all. But if you were a 1 video a week person, maybe a video and a short or a video and a community post, ramp it up a little, If you're a live streaming channel that didn't go live, you need to go live again, and maybe some community posts. You need to get it out there that you're back. Now, if you've got the bandwidth to put out an extra video, do it. But if you don't do it. Russell says that I don't use my Facebook group for lives anymore, but I'm speaking of business page, and I think you can still do lives on those if you want. But you are speaking of taking a break from that. Yes, you can still go live on a page rather than a group. I found that groups are better than pages personally for interactions, because on a page the community can't start a post. Only you can. So I look at Facebook as a community building thing, and if a community member can't start a conversation, and it's up to me to start all the conversations all the time, I'm not there for that. That's an announcement board as far as I'm concerned. So I like groups for that sort of stuff. But everybody has different plans for their business. They have different types of businesses. They have different types of audiences. So you need to think about which of these tools works better for you, so you can go and make those decisions. So understanding all the different tools that you have at your disposal, understanding what the pros and cons of the different platforms and the different parts of the platforms, and working out if these can work for you. It's super important knowledge, and planning it out for your business and for your audience, and what works for them and what works for you. It's very personal. Frankie says that now that I'm free again, I'm going to try 2 uploads and 1 live a week to kick it off. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, when you come back, ramp it up just a little. Don't go too hard out of the gate. You don't want to, like, if you've just taken time off because you had a burnout, you don't want to burn yourself back out again. You don't want to get sick again. So, you've got to balance these things. All of these things just make it, all of these things are about balance. They're all about balance. Oh, you implemented your advice. That's awesome. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Little Crafty Norks talking. Sorry, I've got a floating hair that keeps touching me and I don't like it. Doug and I did a huge live stream. It was it 3 hours and 45 minutes, Doug? We were going to go for 2 hours. What happened to that? We got into the groove is what happened to that. So you can check that. The replay is available on this channel and on Doug's channel as well. We reviewed some channels. We had some conversations. It was great. Russell says, I like groups for community too. By the way, isn't it live where you start all the conversations and viewers can only comment? Absolutely. But they can comment live and I can respond and they can comment again. And they can write whatever comment they want right here, which is why both. I like having groups and live streams because then they can also start that conversations. They can ask a question and other members of the group can answer it. And whether or not I spot it and answer it doesn't matter because the rest of the group found it and did. So I think both. One's not better than the other. I think both. I have a business page for Fiberific. I do. But I don't utilize it the same way as I do my Facebook or Discord. So, yeah. Different businesses, different audiences, different business styles. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, Doug scored himself a VidSummit ticket. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like that. I think it was very well deserved. And I liked Daryl Lees was live after. So Doug and I were live until like 2:40 in the morning. And then Andrew Can was live. And he was live for an hour and a half or so. Then Daryl Eves was live. And the very start of Daryl Eves' live, he had a talk about all the amazing work Doug does for all of the YouTube education community. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. But I think a VidSummit ticket is an awesome, awesome show of like gratitude. I really do. He was gushing. That's right. Daryl was gushing. Absolutely. It was kind of weird. I mean, not bad weird, but I was surprised. So, yeah. It's very cool. It's very cool. So do you guys have any questions for me? We've got through all my notes. We've still got some time. I've got time. So let me know if you've got any questions for me. I need to top up my drink. It's empty. Did you hear that? That's how over bubbly I make my water. This is the kind of bubble level that they'd use in an ad to be like, oh, look at how bubbly our drink is. And then when you get it, it's not that bubbly. Where's the Yetis? Well, I'm not having a hot drink. So I tend to save the Yetis for hot drinks. I really wanted to have a cold drink because my throat's sore. I find water and cold drinks help my sore throat better. How do you translate a long form video? Do you mean like as in translate it into other languages? Because I don't personally. I've seen that there's some great ways to do that. Is it ditto dubbing that Daryl Eves talks about for transforming translating videos? I haven't used it. It's not really on my radar at this stage. It's a little too pricey for me for some of my videos. Also, my videos are usually live streams, so they're quite long. but I use rev.com when I'm just adding captions. So yeah, but that's just English captions, and that's a per minute cost. Oh, you want to translate our church service for a friend? Yeah, I only know of paid services for it. And Ditto dubbing could be it. Do they? I think they have a free 30 minutes or something. So it would depend on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't translate a lot of stuff. I'll be honest. If anyone's got any suggestions for Little Crafty Nook, drop them in the chat. Here we go. A question. I will be live streaming to 2 channels that have overlapping audiences, but considered duplicate content. Okay, so this is one of the things, right? It's a grey area because Doug and I did our live stream on Saturday night to both of our channels. And StreamYard makes it very easy. You just add the extra channels and off you go. It's not considered duplicate content for some reason. I don't know why. If you're live streaming to your own 2 channels, if one gets notified that the other has created, the same video, you're just not going to copyright strike each other or copyright claim each other. It's very tricky, and I don't understand why it's not duplicate content, because I can see where you're coming at, but apparently it's not. Yeah, as long as you own both the channels, or one is like you have a guest and you're streaming to your guest channel, I can't see an issue. So let me know if you need more information on that. Besides translating, besides Australian to the American is a challenge and vice versa. Yep. Oh yeah, then there's the Brits in Australia. Yes, it does. It is a very. I've been watching a lot of. Americans who've moved to Australia and the things that they've noticed videos. I just saw one last night, and she was talking about our shopping centres, and about how she was so surprised to see, like, pharmacies and butchers and fruit and veggie stores and like all these different things. I'm like, what is even in an American mall if they don't have all the shops? Like, that's kind of the point of a shopping center. You go there so you don't have to go anywhere else. You park, you do all your errands, your newsagents, your chemist, your butcher, your bakery, everything is in there, and your supermarkets and all your specialty stores. That's kind of the point, right? So now I'm confused. What's in an American mall? I don't know. I don't even know. You do own both channels? Then yeah, I look, I don't understand why it's not considered duplicate content. I really don't. But if you live stream to both channels using a service like StreamYard or Restream or any of the others that let you do that quite easily, you're not going to see a problem. You may see something come up in your copyright tab area. Just don't claim your own content and you'll be fine. Oh, there we go. Myth busting. Bring it on, Doug. There isn't specific rules about that. The closest is video spam, which co-streaming doesn't apply. There you go. Awesome. Because I think the only time I've ever received a duplicate content notice is when I had a video fail an upload and I went to upload it again without deleting the first one, and I got a note like a little, this is duplicate content, you can't do this. So I had to go and delete the other one and then re-upload. That's the only time I've personally ever seen duplicate content show up. But yeah. Let's look. American malls that I've been in are similar to ours, often without the supermarkets. Really? Okay. So why are there no supermarkets? Like what? Yeah. I don't know. I'm very confused. We have new malls like Amazon. You can stay right at home. We also have services that do your shopping for you. Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. We have those as well. We can order our groceries online and have them delivered from our supermarkets. Trish says that in Canada they have grocery stores in the malls. Okay. I don't know. Maybe this particular lady lived in a particular area of the US and it was just different for her. I don't know. But it was very, very weird. It was very weird. But first, Coffee, welcome to the chat. It's good to see you. Malls are closing here due to theft. Um, yeah, I don't know. We just seem to be building more, with better security. So we actually have like some of our mall, or they're not mall. We don't call them malls. We call them shopping centers. Some of our shopping centers have what's called a police beat, which is like a police station within the shopping center with just a couple of officers. So whose majority of their job is dealing with stuff in the car park. Excuse me, stuff in the car park and stuff in the shops, like shoplifters. Let me look here. Yeah, we have some supermarkets that are freestanding and some that are in shopping centers. Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind you chiming in. Not at all. I see you on Saturday mornings in Nick's stream and also in Doug's. Awesome. Welcome. Yeah, it's an interesting difference. Like it's always really different about how, like, I honestly didn't think there would be that many differences between, say, Australia and the US, right? But the more I think about it and the more I talk with people in the US and the more I still haven't been, but the more I see it, I'm like, there are some differences. There are some solid differences. So, like, not just between how we speak, like, there are things that I've said that I had no idea that you guys that are based in America had zero idea what I was talking about, because here it's just part of conversation. It's just part of how it is. It was, yeah, there's just some things that we say and terminology that we use that either means something different for you. And there are things as well that you guys use and say that we think is funny. Frankie said that when I visit, it's as much as a foreign country to me as when I go to South Korea, and I'm a dual citizen. Oh, there you go. That is actually, and I think that's actually made me really conscious of like, okay, like there were things I was already like, all right, I know this is different. I know you've got a tip in places where you get service. I know you've got to, that you've got to realize that just because the price on the item is one price doesn't mean that's going to be what you're charged at the checkout. Whereas in Australia, all our taxes are added on to the displayed price. So if you buy a $3 bottle of water, you can hand them $3 and walk away, because all our taxes are included. So each state or whatever, every store is already got that sorted. It's law in Australia that your display price is what you pay, or less. Like, so if you're in a place where you can be like talking down a bargain, you can do that. But yeah, it's really, I thought that was about it. The answer is no. There's so much more. Our grocery chains are usually in shopping centres, but not malls. We call a mall an enclosed area with inside corridors to the stores. Older style is a shopping centre all facing the car park. Okay, so for us, our shopping centres are your malls. So you've got shops either sides of corridors. It's all roofed in. It's all like big buildings, things like that, with huge car parks where you just walk in and it's all air conditioned and very nice experience. You can spend the whole day there. Whereas when we're talking about like just going to the shop, that's usually more like just a little a store, or like a couple of stores, like a supermarket and a bakery and a chemist and a newsagent facing a car park. So, yeah. But yeah, I have a friend who is a Kiwi. She comes here. She says that I have no clue what she means when she refers to objects or articles of clothing, but it's all good. Yeah. 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 And I think this is the same. Like that First Coffee is saying here, maybe in Florida, but here in New York City, they're not all grocery stores. I think it's going to, like, that's the other thing I've learnt in the US as well. In Australia, we're pretty across the board, the entire nation, whereas you guys are very different state to state. Like we've got differences from state to state, but a lot of our things are, national, whereas you guys have very different things state to state. Trish says, I thought malls and shopping centres were the same. Yeah. We don't really call anything a mall here in Australia. Like, do we? I've seen some like my local little shops. Like, it's a local small shopping centre, is called a mall, but I think it's just because they just called it a mall. It's not a mall. Well, it is technically a mall because it's all the parking is underneath, and you go up a travelator, and it's all flat, and there's multiple stores. It's a mini shopping centre. It's a mini one. Well, we do have Costco in Australia. It's fairly new. We don't have BJS or Sam's. We don't have those here. But Costco is a standalone thing. It's not with any other. It's just Costco. So if you're going to Costco, you say you're going to Costco. It's not a shopping centre. It's not a mall. It's its own building, its own car park. If you park in Costco's shopping centre, if you park in Costco's parking lot, you're going to Costco. There's nothing else there. Traveling is fun. It's always different. Had a recent experience where the waiter at a restaurant was saying no thank you to a tip. There were service charges, so they were not used to tips. What do you consider Amazon? Amazon for me is online shopping. I don't have any way to go into a physical Amazon store. There are none here. It's online only. It's online shopping. You call the small ones strip malls. Huh. Okay. I've heard the word before. I didn't know what it meant. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have an option for Amazon Fresh. It's not here. We have stores. We have states that are really foreign countries. Huge differences in laws and common beliefs. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas, like, most of I'm just having to think. I don't want to generalize too hard because I'm sure there'll be some difference, and someone from another state's going to come in and go, "Well, Chantelle, actually." But I've lived in a couple of states in Australia, and other than one had a much bigger capital city and it was a bit more metropolitan, they were pretty well the same, just with more people. Like shopping experiences were the same. Had a few more shops. Yeah. But I don't know. And all our pricing laws are nationwide. They're not statewide. So yeah, unless there's state taxes. But we have in Australia we have one sales tax. And it's a federal sales tax or a national sales tax, and it is on everything. Well, it's on like particular items, but it's on the tickets. It's all included. So when you get to the checkout, if it's $3. It's $3. Florida seems to be out of this world. I want to go there again. Okay. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know where I'd want to go. Like there are things I want to do in America. There's definitely things I want to do, and that tends to denote where I end up wanting to go. Just because, I want to go to Vid Summit, so therefore I'll be going to Texas. And it's like, what sort of things in Texas would I like to do? But it's weird. It's different. But First Coffee says, I hate that we have tax on food. We have taxes on foods. We have back in I can't remember. Doug, do you remember when sales tax came in, like GST came into Australia? I think it was, I want to say 2000, right? I want to say early 2000s, like as in 2000, when we had our federal sales tax. We always had like a million different sales taxes, and it was very confusing. And, you know, some things had 22%, some things had 5%. It was very confusing. So what they did was they made a GST, a general sales tax, and it was 10%, straight 10%, so that things balanced out, right? Then they had to decide what the sales tax was going on. So, oh, there we go. Game Window says July 1st, 2000. I thought it was 2000. And our financial year starts on the 1st of July. So that makes perfect sense. So there was all this talk about what should we be putting sales tax on? Because what things shouldn't go up by 10%? Because basically everything went up by 10% just about, except for imported televisions and things, which went down for a little while. So then it was like, okay, so fresh fruit and veggies, no sales tax. Fresh meat, no sales tax. But basically it was just like, as long as it hasn't been processed. So if you bought steaks, no sales tax. But if you buy sliced ham from the deli, it's got sales tax because someone's had to slice it. It's weird. If you bought apples or a bag of apples, no sales tax. But if you bought a bag of peeled apples, someone's done work to it, it gets sales tax. So it was all these really random like things. And then they were deciding what's a luxury item and what's not a luxury item. And there was some serious conversations for a long time. But yeah, it was very, very weird. Oh, you were part of a transfer team. Yeah. It was a big thing. It was a huge thing. Oh, here we go. I didn't know that. If you're part of a group of 6 or more, they add a gratuity on the bill. There you go. I didn't know that. Amazing Destination says California was the biggest letdown. The ocean was cold and not at all how I thought it would be. You didn't think the ocean would be cold? I just assume all water's cold. If you're going to Texas, you need to go to drive tanks. You can drive a tank. Really? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, but that sounds fun. Gosh. Oh, absolutely. All takeaways, all like restaurants, everything like that. Anything where they cut and prepared food, that all got sales tax. Yeah. Yeah. There was a famous interview with my namesake re GST on a chocolate cake. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like if you bought the chocolate cake, the cake has GST, but you could buy the ingredients to make yourself a chocolate cake, and those ingredients don't have GST. So yeah. Yeah. Processed, that's the word I was looking for. Processed foods. That's the same for most states on processed foods. Yeah, there you go. I'm not trying to say one state's better or worse than the other either, but yeah, definitely different. Definitely different. Oh, Trish says the water is warm in Florida. Would the water in Queensland be considered warm? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not saying one state is better or worse than others, but over the years they have developed unique personalities where like-minded folks congregate and those who disagree move. Yeah, I can see that. Eating out in a diner is expensive, okay? Let alone a cuisine restaurant. Yeah, I actually had a nice day out on Saturday. My Saturday was huge, honestly. So I slept in a little bit, which is nice. And then I drove an hour for a YouTube meetup. So with some like-minded creators who were in my local area, being an hour away. It's not that local, I'll be honest. Only one other person turned up. We had a great lunch. We had a really nice time. The other people that were going to come all bailed. So that was a bit weird, but I got to meet a new person who makes content and they seem very nice. And then I got home from that, had a nap because I had a big night. So had a nap for a few hours. And then then we had the stream with Doug. From my time, it went from 11 till about 2:30, something like that, or 240. And then then modded Andrew's chat that went from 245 to sort of 4:30-ish, and was sort of jumping backwards and forwards from Andrew's and Andrew's and Daryl's chat while they were both running at the same time. Then jumped over to Daryl's chat for a little while after 4, and then I'm just like, you know what? I hung it out for like nearly an hour, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I am so tired, and so I bailed. I'm like, Doug, I'm going to bed. See how you're going, but yeah. Let's have a look here in the chat. Coffee maybe. Yeah, I had coffee in once I woke up, so that was cool. Okay, so the water temps in Florida. I don't know what. Let's have a look what the water temps in Brisbane are. No idea. I've never looked it up. Let's have a look. Our water temps in Brisbane are currently, I'm not sure, when they say Brisbane, I don't know exactly where they're talking about. Let me have a look here. All right. 25.3, which is 77 Fahrenheit. So that's our water temps. So our water temps are very similar to Florida. We are currently in autumn. Autumn for us. What are you doing there, Louis? Louis is digging to China on the floor. Oh, you wanted to message me? Well, you can message me now. I don't know what you want to message me about, but you could totally message me now. I'm awake. Yeah, Brisbane water temps are between 20 and 27. So there you go. And San Diego maxed out at 90. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can see why you're expecting it to be cool. Live stream consultants, an hour drive is not local. For me to get any decent sized city is a minimum of an hour to 3.5 hours, depending on where I'm heading. See, I technically live. So where I am, if you have a map of Queensland up, I am halfway between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, like nearly exactly halfway. But I was going over the other side of Brisbane into the northern suburbs. So if you're a Queenslander, anything more than half an hour is too far. Most people are like, I'm not going there. That's 40 minutes away. Whereas in Sydney, when I lived in Sydney, it would take 2 hours to get anywhere. So it's a local attitude. It's a local attitude. Let's have a look here. Trish says it snowed on Friday, but it's hot today. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's terrible. That's weird. Yeah, you guys are in spring over there, but I'm still seeing so much snow for you. I really am. In saying that, it's spring. It's autumn here technically, but we've had a couple of really hot, humid days, so I've got the air conditioning on. Usually, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be warm enough. But it's just too humid, and I just needed it. You wish it'd be warm already. I get that. We don't really get proper winters here. So you'll notice that my fashion will change, and I may end up wearing a long sleeve t-shirt. So yeah. You're tired of the cold weather? Yeah. 15.5 for amazing yacht destinations in seas. See, I like that. For me, the perfect temperature, if I got to choose a perfect temperature, it's between 18 and 20 degrees with like low to middle humidity. Whereas my summers, more like 40 degrees, like late 30s, early 40s, with like 80 to 90% humidity. It's terrible. It's gross. I don't like it. I really don't like it. All right, boys and girls. On this note, I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna go and let my voice have a little bit of rest. I've got some work to get done today. Let me know in the chat what you've got on your plate. I know some of you, it's now bedtime. For me, it's just getting started. These streams start at 9 a.m. Monday for me, so it's time to dig in and get into some stuff. Thank you so much for joining me in this conversation. I hope that my answers helped. I don't know. They were a bit maybe, weren't they? And I will chat with you more next week for our next stream. See you in all the other streams that I hang out in and mod in, and have an awesome week. Bye now.